What's up, guys? I'm making another commentary video. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing these, but I'll be making them when something pops up into my head, and I feel like it's important enough for me to share my thoughts with you. To be honest with you, I usually like to stay away from race. First of all, my channel is not even about race. It's about weight loss and natural hair, or going natural, those two processes and journeys. But I generally do like to stay away from race, but that's not to say that I don't think about it. From a health standpoint, what's been on my mind a lot, particularly this year, because I've been kind of focusing on it, and I guess, I guess I fall into that category, is the unhealthy state of black women. Okay? And I say that, and I hope nobody gets offended because I'm a black woman too. Statistically, black women in America, and I'm just saying black women in America, black American women, 78% of black females in this country are overweight. Not necessarily obese, but not at the right weight range that you should be in. And that would be me too. Yay! In all seriousness, that's epidemic. I'm not trying to, take up a cause. I'm not trying to, like I said, make anybody feel bad. But I was out doing my shopping today, and actually I notice this all the time, but it's so many, like just about every black woman you see got a little extra. You know what I'm saying? And that might be genetics too, but I think there's a fine line between genetics and extra that shouldn't be there. Now, I'm not trying to be some kind of body Nazi, I'm still 220 something pounds, so I'm definitely not trying to criticize anybody. But I think my question is not why are so many black women overweight, because really most Americans are overweight. 60% of Americans, I think it's over 60, but somewhere around there, 60% of Americans are overweight. That's because of the American diet and the American lifestyle. It's it's so easy to get a lot for so little, and that includes cheap food. But the question is, why are so many black women comfortable with being overweight? Why are so many black women satisfied with being unhealthy? Black people in general, and I'm not saying it's just black women, because I know it's black men too, but in general, black people are more prone to type 2 diabetes. That's because of the diet that we eat. You look at the types of places that you're going to find in urban neighborhoods or low-income neighborhoods. It's going to be fried chicken. It's going to be just different corner stores, convenience stores, liquor stores, hair weave stores. That's a totally different video. But McDonald's, McDonald's are more concentrated in black communities than they are in white communities. Okay, that's fine. And I know it makes it difficult for, let's say a single mother of 3 to go out and buy organic food than it is for her to just go to a drive-thru on the way home. But there has to be a point when I know it's all about educating yourself and all that stuff, but there has to be a point when you realize that you're passing those same types of habits on to your kids, but also yourself while you're still relatively young, and whether you have kids or not. I just don't think we as black women should be. We shouldn't settle for being overweight. We shouldn't settle for being more or heavier than we should be. I think a lot of times, culturally, the mindset that black Americans have is that black women are supposed to be thick. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being thick. I even make thick spo videos. I don't really make them anymore, but I did, okay, when I first started losing weight. Because personally, you know, I'm 5'7", I'm 223 pounds, you know. When I started this year, I was like 280 pounds. I don't want to be skinny. I will probably never be skinny, but I don't want to be skinny, okay? I want to be about 145, 150. That will give me a nice little shape, give me a nice, you know, that's at a weight that I can just go out and run 3 miles if I felt like it on any given day. All right, great. I don't want to be skinny, okay? I want to be what you call thick. But that being said, I think a lot of black women and black men probably look at a fat or overweight black woman and say she's thick. I think that might add to why so many black females who are overweight or obese are okay with it, because they say, well, you know, I'm black and I'm not supposed to be skinny. I'm supposed to have an ass or hips, or I'm supposed to have a little something extra. But there's a fine line between being thick and fat. There's a fine line between being thick and overweight. I see a lot of very well put together black women, you know, who are overweight. You know, I'll put myself in that category. But really, it doesn't matter what your class is. It doesn't matter what your education or background is. There are only a handful of black women who are fit, not overweight, never been overweight, whatever the case. And I think that's crazy. That's crazy. So I guess I'm just putting this out there because just to give people something to think about. You know, most of my subscribers are black females. Just to give you all something to think about and something to, you know, just to keep in mind as maybe you're going through your weight loss journey or your natural journey. I mean, there's nothing like health. And you know, when I think about losing weight and I think about doing all the things that I have to do in order to lose weight, I don't necessarily think about looking a certain way. The truth is that society judges you based on how you look. People might not agree with me, but if you don't have to agree with me 100%, but people judge you based on how you look. It doesn't really matter what race you are. If you are overweight, if you're fat, if you're really overweight, if you're a little bit overweight, most people are a little bit overweight. But if you're, you know, more than a few pounds overweight, or if you fall in the obese category, people are going to judge you. And here's what they think. They think you are automatically less happy. There is some truth to that. You probably are a little bit less happy than fit folks. You probably won't have, you know, make a whole lot of money or have as good a job or education. You know, that just depends on the person. But that's what people assume. They assume you're lazy. They assume you don't really do very much in your free time. You're not motivated or driven or goal-oriented. And that might not be true. And the truth is, you shouldn't really care what anybody thinks. But the thing is, you have to interact with other people. People are going to judge you based on how you look. And then you add to the fact that you are black. Okay, that's almost one strike. Don't mean to sound like I'm pulling the race card, but come on, this is America. And you're a black woman at that. You're a black woman who is overweight. That's like 3 strikes. That's like a fat black woman. You know, bad, and bad. And let me go back. I don't want y'all to think I'm negative or that I'm just always looking for the bad in things. But I mean, I just think about this sometimes. And it's like, not saying that we need to try to fit in with people, not saying that we need to try to be something that we're not. But I think the bottom line is really, it's health. It's health.